Welcome back to another CSS Grid video where I teach you the basics of learning the new specification for CSS3, which is called CSS Grid Layout. In this video we're talking about Autoflow Columns and Autoflow Rows. I have a grid set up here, very basic grid. It's 3 across by 4 rows, so 3 columns by 4 rows. I have a grid wrapper, and then I have a bunch of items inside, so I believe it's 12 items inside. Some are what I'm going to call regular content. I've also labeled them with a letter, so you can see in our markup it goes A through L, and then you can also see that it's being laid out automatically at this point. I also have a couple of featured content sections, so this C and F are featured content, and I'm going to show you how the autoflow works around content that you put specifically onto the grid. I just have it set up as 3 evenly spaced columns, so you can see they're stretchy, and then I have 4 template rows, and then I have a min-max on that. That's not totally necessary, but just wanted to have that flexibility. The grid gap is 1 rem, which is 16 pixels, and then I have what's called grid autoflow on here. Should take that off, put that. In fact, if we take it off right now, it's nothing changes. Each grid item has a background of red. I'm using Flexbox inside, so each of these containers is a flex container, and it's centering the content. And then I have a couple of extra things I'm going to show you in just a moment. So first, if we look, I'm not designating any of these boxes on any spaces of the grid. So this is just taking all of our boxes and laying them out automatically. And when it does that, it starts at the top left hand corner and moves like this. So it goes here, and when it gets to the end of our 3 columns, then it goes down, starts a new column here on the left, goes to the right, and this is the normal flow, like this. And it goes from top left to bottom right. You can see we end with L down here. And whenever you don't specify or tell the grid to do something specific with each grid cell, this is how it auto lays out all of your content. So that is actually this property here. So the grid auto flow is how it flows, how it lays out all of the elements that are not specifically targeted to a space on the grid. And so the default is row, and that goes in a row. It lays them out in a row. We can also make a change here to column, and I'll show you how it changes. So now instead of A, B, C, D, E, F, it goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. So it moves like this, which is very different. So it lays it out by the column. So whenever you don't specify anything, it lays it out in a row. If you want to change the direction of the way that it auto lays out the specific tiles or cells of the grid, then you can use column. Okay, and there's another one, a third option that's called dense. Dense is not going to do anything here because all of these are evenly spaced. But if you had, say, one taking up 2 spaces here, and then like A was taking up 2 spaces, and B also needed to take up 2 spaces, well, we only have 3 spaces available here, so it would automatically bump B down to here. And then if you had the regular flow, then C would find the next available spot right after B, and then there'd be a hole up here. I can actually do that. Let's see if we can do that on the fly. We'll use the in-child selector, and we will target the first one, and this will be this one here, regular content A, and then we'll say grid column 1, and then we'll just say span 2, and then we'll say grid row of 1, and then let's make the second one. So let's do the one for B, and the B will be the second one, the second child. And then what we want to do is do grid row 2 for B. Okay, let's set this back to the default. Let's see if that's going to work. Okay, well, it automatically lays it out here. You can see that even though we've allowed this to go 2 spaces, and then we've told B to go 2 spaces also, so we've told it to span 2 columns. So up here there's only 3 spaces available, so B can't go here. So the way that it's doing it is it's auto laying out everything after B, and so it's placing it back up here. If these boxes, I believe, were different sizes, then the dents would have some sort of bearing on this, but I haven't set it up very well for being the dents part. It's kind of a whole different video. But you can see the auto flow, so it goes, we're doing a row, so it should be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But what's happening is A has a space, B also is specific to the space and the needs of what it has. So what if we change that? No, it doesn't change anything. So it's specific to its space. And then what do we do with C then? So C should be the next one, but since there's going to be an open space up here, grid auto flows it back along a row, and then it's coming back down. So this is kind of like it's empty. And then D is here, and then it gets back into the regular auto flow of your content. We're getting into some funkiness here because this is pushing everything down, so you just gotta realize that it's pushing your grid down too. Okay, so that is the auto flow mechanism, and that's essentially what I was going to show you down here, which I have a couple of these are named featured. I have a featured top and a featured bottom. And what I've done is I've just made those styles a little bit different, and I've placed them in specific places on the grid. You can see it here. So I have some feature content up here, and then I have some feature content down here, and the featured content top. Oh, I have to add another row here. See if that helps anything. Okay, so I have this featured content section here, and then it takes C out of the normal flow and it puts it specifically right here, and then it starts our regular flow. So A, B, C, pulls it out of the flow, puts it specifically here, but then it picks up the flow right here. D, E, and then F is here, so it pulls it out of the flow, puts it specifically here, and then the next one, G, and then it's going this way, remember, so it lays it out H, no space here, I, J, K, L. Now we can also, you can see this as we change it to column, and what happens is we start, A would normally start here, but there's something there, so it starts here at the next available column space. A, B, C would normally be here, but we pulled it up and put it straight here. And then D, E, F would normally be here, but we pulled it over here and put it specifically there. G, H, normally I would go here, and J, but this space is taken up, so we have to go to the next available column, space, I, J, and then it comes all the way back to the top, because remember we're flowing this way. So it brings it all the way back to the next available space at the top, K, L, and then we would keep going if we have more space. So that's the way that you can control the auto layout of items that you don't specifically place on the grid. I hope this helps you out with laying out things. So let's say you had kind of a featured, I don't know, a grid with where you wanted to feature or highlight some particular sections, but you wanted to have all of them shown. But some of them you didn't really care about, you know, how much space they take up on the grid or anything like that. You just want them to take up one cell. Um, this is how you would lay that out, and this is how you would control how those items auto flow along the along either the x-axis as a row or along the y-axis as a column. All right, thank you for watching, and if you have any comments, please leave them down in the comments section. Also, thank you for everyone who has subscribed. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I do more than just CSS Grid. I handle things like Flexbox, and also do kind of some other videos. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments section, and I'm pretty quick to get back to comments, so if you leave them there, I'll get to your comment within a day or two. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.